Hi, I'm Claire Ralph, Senior Partner at Carley's.
And I'm Conor Chalmers, Senior Manager at Carley's.
Welcome to episode 2 of our podcast, where we'd like to take you through how a good accountant and business advisor can steer your business through every stage of its life cycle. So we're 5 years down the line now, and Conor and I are meeting with David, who you'll remember was an electrical contractor just starting up his fledgling business. Hi David, how are you?
I'm doing really well, thank you. Weather's a bit grim today, but yeah, I'm all right. Thank you.
Good. So we've looked at your management accounts recently, and we've seen that your business has really taken off in the last 5 years. And I've noticed that you're getting on for £2 million in the current year in terms of turnover, 20 staff, so all seems to be going well.
That's right, yeah. I mean, I'm chuffed, to be honest. I mean, I think the last time we spoke, I was probably about 100k or something, so the growth's been immense, really. I think it's been more than I could have handled if I didn't have your help, so thank you very much for that. I think I'm probably at about 18, 19 staff now at the moment. Yeah, got a baby on the way, family, new home, all that. So just thinking about next steps really going forward from here. What do I do?
Yeah, so you have been busy in your first 5 years.
Yeah, that's right.
It's probably a really good time for the three of us to have a conversation about where the business is at the moment and where you see that going over the next 5 years. 5-year plan is always a really good thing and something we're happy to help you with in terms of asking the right questions. Congratulations on the baby.
Thank you.
Have you seen your financial advisor in terms of life insurance, pension planning and things like that?
No.
You haven't? Okay. It would be a really good idea if we were able to refer you to our financial advisor who's completely independent. We often introduce clients to him and he'll just look at where you're at the moment just to make sure that you and your family are covered for every eventuality. So if that's something that you want to do at the end of the meeting, I'll put you in touch with him and you can arrange a call with him yourself.
Brilliant. Sounds good.
So David, we're coming up to your year end. We've got 3 months left. It looks like you're heading for around £2 million in turnover. What about bottom line net profit?
Right. I'm actually not too sure about that. Yeah, I'm a bit behind on my management accounts, to be honest, this year. My wife's on maternity leave, as you know, and yeah, I'm falling behind a bit. I don't know, is this something you guys could help me with, or?
Yeah, we can help with that. We'll send someone out to catch up on your management accounts, and then once you've got up-to-date figures, we can see if there's any scope for some tax planning.
That would be good. I mean, I had a really big corporation tax bill last year, so...
That will happen as a business grows. Unfortunately, with higher profits comes higher tax, but we will do everything we can to help reduce that for you.
All right, perfect.
So the benefit of having up-to-date management accounts, particularly in a business that's growing as yours is as Conor said, it gives us the scope to do some tax planning before the end of the year. There are things that we can do they're not tax evasion, it's planning. We can do them, but it needs to be done before the end of the year rather than in hindsight. So one of the things that I wanted to mention to you, when we met last year, you spoke to me about the possibility of wanting to buy your own freehold because you've only got a couple of years left on your lease that was 7 years, I believe. There is lots and lots that we can do in terms of tax planning with pensions, and you're probably at the right size as a business now and at the right point in your own life where looking at pension planning is quite important to you. One of the things that I wanted to kind of mention to you and touch base with you on is the ability to put money into the pension from the company to build up a pot of money, and the pension scheme can then buy the freehold. The pension scheme can then lease this back to the company. It will pay no tax on the profit of doing so, and the business gets tax relief on the rent that it pays. So in a nutshell, it's a very tax efficient way of saving for your retirement. And I think now is a good time in your life and the business for you to think about doing that.
Because something we're really big on at Carley's is being proactive when it comes to tax planning.
Yeah, tax planning is very important to us because as a business owner, when we spoke with you 5 years ago, the compliance things are very important. There were issues that you had to meet and obligations that you had to meet. However, now as the business has taken off, you're taking on more staff and the business is making more profit. We like to be proactive in order to plan for any eventuality, both in terms of growth of the business and to mitigate future tax liabilities.
So would I be able to get someone from your team in to do my management accounts fairly soon if possible? Because I don't want to pay that corp tax bill again this year.
Yeah, we can get someone sent in right away.
Perfect.
What about cash? How's that looking at the moment?
Well, it's looking all right at the moment, but I feel like I've got some big layouts coming in ahead, to be honest. My business growth, I feel like it's slowed a lot over the last year specifically. And I'm feeling like, if I want to keep growing at an organic rate, I need to keep spending money. And yeah, to put it bluntly, I'm concerned I won't have enough.
Do you think some cash flow forecasts would be beneficial to you?
What are they?
Okay, so cash flow forecasts are where we sit down and discuss with you what outlay your business is going to need over the next 12 months. And then we look at it on a quarterly or sometimes a monthly basis to decide what money you're going to have in and what money you're going to have out. You can then see where there might be shortfalls. Sometimes business cash flow goes up and down, and you can see where the tighter months might be. If you needed to borrow money from the bank, they would want to see a cash flow forecast anyway. But it would be good for us to do this before you approach the bank if there's any finance needed.
Okay, so why don't I send someone a bit more senior down to do the management accounts and the cash flow forecasts at the same time?
Yeah, perfect. How many days a week would that be?
Probably around 2 to 3 days a month.
Okay, that's not bad.
Okay, so in terms of outlay, David, you think you're going to have some quite big expenditure coming up, and you mentioned organic growth. Are you finding then that you need to speculate to accumulate? Have you come to a point where the business perhaps isn't growing anymore organically, and so you need to take other steps? Is that something that we could look at together?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like, especially over the last year, the growth has really slowed down now.
Okay, well, if you feel like the organic growth has slowed, then another way you could potentially grow your business is by acquisition, by buying another company. How does that sound?
Oh, it's funny you should say that. My mate is, he's also an electrical contractor, and he's got his own business. It's a bit smaller than mine, but he's a bit older than me. So we did talk about, maybe, I don't know if there's something we could do together, I don't know, but then I'm not sure, maybe he's interested in retiring soon. I haven't talked to him about this yet.
How much older than you is he, David?
Well, he's an old lad, to be honest. He's coming up to retirement age.
Okay, and has he been in the business for a long time?
Yeah, probably since he was about 25 or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
so does he have similar type contract work as you, and
Yeah.
customers
yeah.
are fairly similar, staff profiles fairly similar?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's certainly something that we could look at with you if he's serious about the potential for you to buy his business. That highlights the importance of Conor and his team coming in and doing cash flow forecasts and getting the management accounts up to date. I think it's highly unlikely that you'll be able to finance a purchase of a business through your own cash flow. So whilst I think you do have some spare cash, you are likely to need bank financing. Do you know kind of the process that we go through when you're looking at buying a business?
No, not at all.
No. So the corporate finance team at Carly's are very experienced in dealing with the sale and the purchase of a business. There are certain steps that we'll need to go through. The most important, we get your ducks in a row, make sure your finance is sorted and all of your accounts are up to date and everything is tip top from your perspective. We'd then be looking at signing what's called a non-disclosure agreement. So a vendor, so the seller of a business, their accountant would probably send us a non-disclosure agreement for us to sign. So that basically means once you've signed it, you won't disclose the fact that they're looking to sell or disclose any of their information to any other parties. It's very, very standard. We'll just check the wording over and then I'll approve it for you to sign.
So once the NDA is being signed, the next step would be to perform a company valuation. So what we would do is we would value the target company to determine what we believe the company is worth. We can then look at that with you and you can determine if you think that's feasible. If you think it's feasible and you want to proceed with the purchase, the next step would be to appoint a solicitor to oversee the transaction with us. Between us and the solicitor, we would draft heads of terms to send to the target company.
Heads of terms are a very, very simple agreement that says what you're buying, for how much, and over what period of time, if it might be some deferred payments. Your target company solicitor would agree that with us, just to make sure as well with their accountant that there's no tax disadvantage for them or for you in terms of how the deal is structured. So once those heads of terms have been agreed, and that doesn't usually take very long, just as long as everybody's singing from the same hymn sheet, we then go into something a little bit more complicated with your solicitors, and we do legal and financial due diligence. What that means, it sounds much more complicated than it is, but we're just making sure there are no skeletons in the closet as far as the business and its history is concerned, either legally or financially. We would put a team in probably for a week just to go through all the accounting records, and we'd write a report for you to look at to make sure you're happy that the business is secure.
Once you've received our report, if you still want to proceed with the purchase and you've managed to obtain finance, we can then prepare a share purchase agreement. This outlines the terms of purchase, such as purchase price, terms of payment, any warranties, and it's basically the contract that both parties sign to make the deal legally binding.
So basically, the corporate finance team will guide you through the process from start to finish, along with your solicitor if needed.
Wow, thank you so much. I mean, I didn't realise you guys could deal with half of this. Yeah, from talking about business valuations and purchases to pensions and all sorts, you give me a lot to think about. So thank you for your time. I'll definitely be in touch.